Is this game popular with autistic people?
Why would you say something like that?
Because I'm starting to love it.
Minecraft is 15 years old this year. It has sold more copies than any other game in the world ever, and it's not even close. This game is always in the top 3 most played games every month, a decade and a half after its tentative indie release to a bunch of geeks on a forum. It's not exactly clear how much money Minecraft has brought in over the years, but even adding up a few years of gross revenue comes to more than $3 billion. But all that cash isn't the reason it's important or why it changed the world. That's getting it the wrong way around. Minecraft changed the world first, then the cash came rolling in. The question is, why? The pattern of Minecraft's popularity betrays the identity of its players. Have a look at the trend in Google search for the word Minecraft. In the most zoomed out view, we see a declining sine wave, like the ripples from a rock thrown into a pond. The rock hit the water in July 2009, when Swedish developer Marcus Notch Persson released an alpha of the game he had coded in the Java language. It wasn't until 2013 that the game had its first popularity peak. Then it waned and came back strongly during COVID in 2020. The wave peaks twice a year, every December and July. If we zoom further in on the wave, there's another wave, this one on a weekly cycle, peaking at the weekends. This is not a difficult puzzle. Who gets bored and returns to favourite games every holiday season? Who gets consoles for Christmas? Who has time to play games obsessively every weekend? The first big reason behind Minecraft's success is that it's a game for kids.
Every January, we saw very many young players who got Minecraft for Christmas and found their way to our server.
Children are a wellspring of culture, which is why what kids do matters so much. They don't spend much money relative to adults. When I worked in TV, all we cared about was 25 to 54-year-olds because they were the people that the advertisers wanted. Older than 54, forget it. You're not changing the brands that you buy. And under 25, you either don't have a credit card or you're dirt poor. But that was TV thinking, and in TV we were short-sighted. What children do now can set the whole direction of popular culture. Not always, but often. The appeal of Minecraft to children is its superpower. So why does Minecraft work for kids? The world's best-selling game is a curious thing. It's not a normal computer game at all. There's no score, no clear goal, and you're not competing against anyone. You're just playing, like kids play. You're doing things for no particular reason other than the joy of doing them. There are a minimum of rules and a maximum of freedom. That's Minecraft. They call it a sandbox game. Sandboxes, or sandpits, as I call them, are fine, but I prefer sandcastles on beaches. We should call Minecraft a sandcastle game because it is so much bigger and better than a sandbox. The world is vast and it's waiting to be explored. And you can change that world. You can build whatever you can imagine. This world isn't all dolphins and rainbows. There's a dark side. Nameless monsters stalk you at night. That horrible, primeval feeling that there's something out there that wants to get you. You can hunker down, build a fort, just as you would build a pillow fort, and keep the monsters at bay. In the morning, the sun rises, and all is well. So why do kids love Minecraft? Almost every aspect of their IRL lives is controlled by others. They go to school, they go to training, they eat when their family eats. A child chooses very little about their life. But in Minecraft, they have control. They build stuff that lasts forever. They can wreck forests and make massive holes in the ground. They light fires, set streams of lava loose. They do everything they can't do in the real world, and no one ever tells them to clean it up. This is control and freedom and danger all at the same time. the game equivalent of salt, fat and carbs. You can't stop eating chips and you can't stop playing Minecraft. Minecraft may be the closest the video game industry has ever got to the essence of child's play, harnessing the same desires that make Lego the most valuable toy brand in the world. Don't you think it's interesting that Lego comes from Denmark and Minecraft comes from Sweden? Those Scandinavians really understand children, and therefore they understand all of us.
Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end.
Minecraft is an unassuming little game, or so it seems. Actually, the apparent simplicity of the blocky graphics and the point-and-click building mechanics masks technical and design genius. Consider how Minecraft worlds are made. The blocks are 1 meter cubes, and they are grouped into 16 by 16 columns or chunks that extend from the top to the bottom of the world. For most of the game's existence, the columns were 256 cubes high, but recently this has been extended to 380 cubes high. So mountains can be taller and caves and mines deeper. With the recent changes, each chunk contains close to 100,000 cubes. When you first pop into existence in the game, you get the feeling the world stretches out before you, waiting to be discovered. But that is an illusion. Minecraft only creates the world as far as you can see, inventing more chunk by chunk as you move, seamlessly joining the new landscapes to the old through clever mathematics. These worlds are described as infinite in the game interface, but actually that's not correct. The game's 32-bit database maxes out at 60 million by 60 million blocks. So that's the maximum width for the whole world. Because you start in the middle, you will be 30 million blocks from the edge of the world. That's not infinite, but it is very big. Bigger than the Earth, for example, which has a circumference of around 40,000 kilometers, or to put it in Minecraft terms, 40 million cubes. If you start walking in the middle of a Minecraft map, it will take you 80 days straight to reach the edge, presuming you don't slow down to cross water or climb mountains, etc., and you never lift your finger from that W key. Incredibly, this feat was achieved by YouTuber Pippin FDS, who transported to the nether plane of his game world, walked for 3 million cubes, transported back to the overworld, and found himself facing the edge of the map at around 30 million cubes from his starting position.
They say it's at 30 million, right? Let me turn up the oh, whoa. Oh my god. Holy shit. Why is my vision red?
Pippin had used a battery on the spacebar to keep walking day and night. He had to walk for around 10 days rather than 80 because distance in the nether is compressed 8-1. The beauty of these near-infinite worlds is a result of clever programming. That programming allows Minecraft to run on low-end machines like phones and in browser windows, even though it is generating worlds with billions of cubes, most of which can be destroyed, moved, or transformed. Using a random smoothing algorithm known as Perlin noise, each generated cube is related but different to its neighbour. Remember how the popularity of Minecraft as a Google search term follows sine waves layered on sine waves? Well, that same kind of layered sine wave forms the basis of the rolling hills and mountains of Minecraft's base geography. Here's Mojang developer Heinrich Nieberg.
In the past, terrain generation in games was just magic to me. I didn't understand how it works. But now I've spent a bunch of time working with it, and I find it kind of fascinating how you can do really cool things with just some math and a few lines of code.
In Minecraft, mathematical abstraction takes the heat off brute processing power. Unlike in many AAA first-person games, where huge poly counts and complicated light rendering routines require dedicated GPUs. For example, light in Minecraft is a simple numerical value based primarily on the cube above it and secondarily on the cubes beside it. It's not photorealistic fine, but it doesn't have to be. Minecraft shows that a sense of place, of really being somewhere is more to do with how rich the environment is in possible interactions than in high poly counts or visual fidelity. This game is a success because of its graphics, not in spite of them. It's clean, it's easy to understand, and the clever technical scaffolding of the game allows you to change everything about your environment. In survival mode, the balance struck between control and danger is just right for most players, and if that's too stressful, there's always creative mode, where everything is available all the time and nothing is out to eat you. I haven't yet spoken about Minecraft's creator, Marcus Notch Persson, because I didn't want to get distracted. It would be easy for this video to become a dissection of Notch and his miserable life after he sold the game to Microsoft in 2014 for a mountain of money. By the way, it cost $2.5 billion for the whole thing. Notch's share was just $1.6 billion. That story is interesting, but it isn't this story. By the time poor old Notch was making rude remarks on Twitter and moaning about all his money and how it had separated him from the rest of humanity, he had nothing to do with Minecraft. So I won't be telling that story, but you can't explain why Minecraft changed the world without crediting Notch. The guy made a number of inspired moves. Number 1, he charged for the game very early, well before it was finished, and receiving money for the incomplete game allowed Notch to devote more time to development, and it created this virtuous circle of improvement. Number 2, Notch used community feedback while not giving up creative control. This is the ideal of what I call the open auteur. It's not designed by committee, which is terrible and at best produces boring games, but on the other hand, it's not designed by a control freak who's not open to obvious improvements. The last thing, Notch allowed community mods, despite initially feeling threatened by them.
Are you ready for the official release of Minecraft?
What came out of Notch's good decisions was a game that, in my opinion, owes its success more to the community than the original creator. This is a game that has been played, improved, and enjoyed over a long period. That longevity, fueled by the community, is at the heart of its success. Notch has been open about how much he owes to others for the success of the game. In terms of the gameplay, he said he was trying to make a mix of Dwarf Fortress and Roller Coaster Tycoon. The game had an isometric viewpoint, like you can see here, until Notch saw the game in Infiniminer. When he did, he switched to first-person point of view. The game's graphics were blurry until Notch just decided to copy Infiniminer and make them pixelated, and even the name Minecraft was suggested to Notch by someone else in a forum, as a mixture of mining and StarCraft or Warcraft. You get the feeling that the success of Minecraft was something that just happened to Notch. It caught him by surprise as much as everyone else.
I wanted to make a game that I figured would take 6 months to a year, just a smaller project to see if it was possible to make money as a solo developer.
To go back to my talk of waves, Marcus Notch Persson just happened to be there at the right time with the right skills, thinking about the right kind of game. As that wave rolled through, he caught it and followed through, staying on the wave until he wiped out in 2014. As he said when attacking the idea of patents, quote, "The sharing of ideas is how the whole of society has happened, more or less." That sharing of ideas is what made Minecraft so good so quick, and what has allowed it to keep growing. Minecraft was being modded by its community while it was still in development. Early on, these were utilitarian server mods, but even before the full release of the game in 2011, we had mods that totally changed the game experience. This vibrant modding scene was the equivalent of the creative mode in vanilla Minecraft. It provided an alternative, or rather a universe of alternatives. From functionality mods like maps and enhanced graphics to content mods that completely change gameplay. Personally, I find that level of choice overwhelming. I love vanilla. But that's the point. It's not about me, just one person. It's about a collective of people with all their differences. Minecraft would never have got off the ground without Notch, yes, and it would never have prospered without the community, right down to the first guy who ponied up the €10 Notch was asking for his half-baked Java game in 2009. There's one more big thing about the community that I haven't covered: YouTube. YouTube might seem now like one of the pillars of the universe, but there was a time before YouTube. In 2005, 4 years before Minecraft, the first video was published on YouTube. YouTube's wave was a slower build, a longer wavelength, and it peaked in 2013 at exactly the same time as the first Minecraft wave crest. This is no coincidence. These two cultural gorillas are actually symbionts, each benefiting the other and fueling its growth. The first Minecraft YouTubers became superstars. Before the world had cottoned on to YouTube as the universal teacher, Minecrafters were learning and being entertained on YouTube by the millions. The first wave saw people like Dan TDM, whose full name is Dan Middleton, amass so many followers that he could tour the globe, speaking in sold-out concert halls. Earlier, I mentioned the game Infiniminer. The guy who made that game is a legend. His name is Zach Barth. His game basically looks exactly the same as Minecraft, and he made it before Minecraft. But the title of this video isn't Why Infiniminer Changed the World. Why did Minecraft succeed while other very similar games like Infiniminer failed? 1. Minecraft was targeted at the right audience at the right time with the right ingredients, the players. 2. The game is technically creative and innovative, despite appearances to the contrary. The tough work was done so the simplicity could shine through, the technicals. 3. The game was set up to be improved methodically and consistently through a long development process that leveraged the community. Infiniminer had none of these three things. Product people would say Zach Barth failed to execute, but that's just a complicated way of saying he failed. So why did I call Barth a legend? Because after all of Minecraft's success, after Notch became a rich man who went to fancy parties and hung out with famous people, Barth refused to make the mistake of being bitter. He said this: "The act of borrowing ideas is integral to the creative process. There are games that came before Infiniminer and there are games that will come after Minecraft. That's how it works." That's the essence of creativity right there. That's how it works. Minecraft doesn't belong to Notch, to Mojang, or even to Microsoft, who paid that lazy $2.5 billion it had lying around in offshore bank accounts. It's personal and it's collective at the same time. The most successful game in the world isn't much like other games at all. It's more like the distilled essence of child's play, and it will keep coming around like other natural and cultural phenomena, cycle in, cycle out. Happy 15th birthday, Minecraft.